name and what was your relationship to Miss Eula?
My name is Joyce Jackson, and Eula was my great grandmother.
My
Best
name is Mary Alice Griffin Shepherd Dozart. She was my great grandmother.
Hi, I'm Arthur Lee Griffin. I'm sending out for Grandma Agnew from Ella Ritchie, which is her first child.
My name is William Griffin. My relationship was I was one of her great grandson.
My name is Felton Thompson, and Eula Agnew was my grandmother, my mother's mother.
Best memory of Miss Eula?
Grandma came to New Jersey to visit my mom, Leona Griffin Little, okay? And the twins, and it was Leola Griffin Moore. Grandma came up, and I could just remember them being in the kitchen cooking and praising the Lord and just being thankful and grateful that Grandma had a chance to come up to visit and see all her grandchildren, great grands in the north. And we got together one afternoon and went down to photography and had a family picture, which has been passed down through the years, and we can all relate to this one, that one, and with our great grandmother.
I remember one of the greatest things I remember Grandma Agnew, that she was a very lovable person, and my sister and brother and myself, we all enjoyed being around her. And I remember some of the memorable things I remember about back then in the days. We didn't have no outside toilet. We had something called a slop bucket. You used that in the house. And you had to go outside, and you had to go outside to our house. And so you could do what you could do during the day. See, outside, you don't go out there because up right by the bush. And so we all do everything during the day. And then another thing that I remember that a lot of young people didn't know about, back in the day we had a well. She had a well, deep well, like you see in the rest of the movies. If you drop the well in the water, turn the water up, you drop the bucket down, and we get some water, and we get water from the well. And the thing about that water, I don't care how hot it is, that water will stay cool.
My best memory of Miss Eula was my daddy took us up there so that he could take care of his grandmother. We arrived there on July the 4th, 1952 in Honey Pass, South Carolina. One of the things I can remember about her is that she was a very compassionate and loving grandmother. She cared a lot about her family and what was happening in her family. She loved to go up there and have those meals. She also, her two sons, Pete and June, was always take us out there and up there because they lived at a dam, and what they would take us on swings. And what we did one time is that we would dive into the water, and we thought it was low, but man, that wave from the dam was push us another place.
First memories I could remember of her was, I thought she was a witch when I first saw her because she was white looking. She had gray hair. I never saw a white old person before, and it reminded me of the stories when Mama used to tell us about witches.
She was the sweetest woman you've ever known, and she was a nurse, and she kept everybody together, and she was just a beautiful person. Beautiful person.
What was life like in Miss Eula's house, and what do you remember about the farm?
Okay. I remember she had a big size house with in the kitchen was potbelly stove that they cooked on, and they did a lot of cooking while we were there. And I remember the farm. There was chickens running around, and what I remember most that was astonishing to me was outside toilet. When we got ready to go to the restrooms, we were directed outside. We was like, Mom, what do they mean you have to go outside? And we went out there and found out, oh no, we can't do that. We can't do that. But and then they made provisions for us in their house. They fixed it up so we didn't have to go out there because we were afraid. I remember being a big place, a lot of trees, like apple trees or different things out there. It was a nice sized farm, you know, and I wasn't used to that being in the north. I had never really gone on a farm or anything. And they got together and we socialized a lot with Grandma, cooking and talking. And other family members that lived in the South came over while we were there. And I remember meeting our cousins Mary Alice, William, and Arthur Lee. Because by this time, Grandma's husband had died and left Grandma out there by herself. And Mary Alice's dad, Uncle Sel, decided that he was going to move his family south where Grandma lived so Grandma wouldn't have to be out there in the woods by herself. So they moved down in Grandma's house. And that was the first time we remember meeting our cousins. And we were so excited to get to meet our cousins.
One of the things I remember about Grandma Agnew was that chicken hawk. See, we had chicken there, we had in the yard sometime and try to put the chicken up before we get a chance to put the chicken up. The hawk flew down and grabbed one of the chicken and tried to fly away with it. So Grandma, she bring out the shotgun. And so my mom said, Miss Ada, you can't shoot that shotgun. She said, yes I can too. You watch. She pulled her shotgun up, and aim, boom ya! The hawk fly away and he stole the chicken, fly away. And so my mom, she was Emma Griffin. She decided she was gonna make the hawk drop the chicken. And she went running, hollering, screaming and carrying on. But the hawk got away with the chicken. But she had a lot of grapefruits, not grapefruit, I mean grape trees. She had a grape called Scuffy Dimes, it's yellow, and it was real sweet. And we would pick that, and she had some gray one too, blue one, that was good too. And she had apple tree, and she had a peach tree, and we had a garden that could grow corn. You go pull that corn, and you go share that corn. I one thing here with that part, and I share that corn. Being a little boy, I messed around with something, the corn had a worm in it. And now I don't want to share no more corn now. I be trying to make an excuse, try to get out of it. But I share the corn every, and then we would take that corn, she would cut it up and make that corn, and he called it cream star corn. Man, she would fix that corn, man, we eat that corn, and have some nice little bits, man, and we have a stomach full, man. Those was the good days that a lot of young people know about. And we had a churn, you churn back in the movie, you see people churn things in the movie, you churn milk coming from the cow, and you churn it, and you keep churning, and the cream will rise up on top, and you get your butter from that, and then you get your butter from that, and then after that, you turn around and make your own buttermilk. And it had a different taste than one in the store. But it was, I'm not gonna say too much about it. That's one of the things that I remember her. But she was a sweet person, and everybody loved her.
Life was like in Miss Eula house is that she lived what I would call the country. And houses were about 600 feet apart. So that was kind of amazing to me because, you know, I always brought up in Charleston and houses were pretty close together. And you would go miles before you see another house because of the farm. We also, she had a cousin we called Cousin George, and he was what I would call a wealthy black man. He had a very large farm, and on that farm, he had a apple orchard, and he also had pigs, and we were just amazed that coming from where we are, we saw apples on a tree. And one time I remember I was looking at going to see the pig. The pigs were having babies, And so we were running, and I ran and got caught into a barbed wire, just scratched myself just above my eyelid. And also remember about cousin George is that we picked cotton for him. Cottons were the first time we ever saw it, so we were kind of excited. And what made excited about me, my mother told me that I did pick cotton well, and one time I remember I used to pick over 100 pounds.
My experiences was she was my great grandmother. I remember all the chickens she had in the yard, and she would put them up on a pen, fed them certain kind of food to make sure they did not eat worms or that kind of stuff. Then the next thing I know, she gets the chicken, wring its neck, and the chicken hopping across the yard. The chicken is in the hot water, feathers are removed, and it's on the table. I could never forget that. I would not eat that chicken. I could also remember the wells. I have never saw a well before. She had this well, and you would drop this bucket down in the well, and the cold water would come out. I could remember the various fruit trees she had, her taking apples and making apple jelly out of it, apple butters. I don't know whether you ever heard of it. She also canned up tomatoes, those kind of things I never saw or experienced before. I also could remember picking cotton. Never did that before. So I thought that was quite an experience. Being out there in that cotton field, picking cotton, sitting out in the tree in that hot sun, enjoying lunch. I could remember the red hills. I never saw red dirt before, and all those hills was a new experience for me. Riding up and down the hills with my brother on his bicycle, tracking through the woods. Never did that before. I thought that was great. And she would take these branches from off the tree and would tie them together and would sweep. We raked the yard, but that's the first time I ever saw a yard being swept by tree branches. I thought that was different. Could remember the family gatherings. Every Sunday, Aunt Seek, my grandma, and Aunt Julia May took turns cooking, and the family would meet at whoever house it was. We did that every Sunday. So it was the family gathering, laughing and talking, and everybody having a good time and really enjoying each other. So those memories are very special, and they're precious to me. I will never forget them. I learned to love my grandma, and I thought she was special.
She was just a real nice person, you know. She loved people. And I got some funny jokes I can tell you about her, but I don't want to tell them. But we had this bull, you know, bull, or what they call it. The next door neighbor had a bull, and that bull got after me and her, and we tried to get up under the house together.
Oh, Lord.
She would come over and get up under the house. We got under the house, and the bull was trying to get under. I won't go through that.
Go ahead. Yeah, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, she go up under there, crawl. I didn't know she could get under there till that bull got close. And she got right in front of me, man. She was gone. But we, you know, those things like that, you never forget them. Mm-hmm. You never forget that kind of stuff. And Velma, Pete and Pete, can't either one. They wouldn't stay down there too much, you know. I mean, I would. Mm-hmm. I'd go down there and stay, you know. Well, I had to. I didn't have no choice, but we played a lot where we lived up in Portland. And that was, we had fun, you know. A lot of us in that water and all, the dam. So nobody would like to just go down there because the kids, there was kids where we were.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just her and Grandpa and, some neighbors down there. But I got caught with the job most of the time. But it was nice, and I loved it,
Mm-hmm.
But everything was wonderful down there.
What kind of animals did she have on the farm?
Which had a lot of chickens, and she had a cow, I think one cow they had 2 or 3 cows. They would get the meat and stuff in cans for the winter.
Okay.
And Grandpa, he kept everything, he kept all that stuff. They had 2 or 3 cows.
Okay.
But
Did you ever have to milk the cow?
Yeah. Well, you had a garden, always had a garden, a lot of peach trees, a lot of apple trees. And we used to play on these vines, get up in the barn and holler with the Tarzan used to sing. Yeah. And jump out of that barn and we had fun with that thing. We had fun.
What traditions have been passed down in our family from Miss Eula?
I think our greatest one, and one I am so grateful for, and is her knowing the Lord and worshiping Him and passing it down through generation after generation. She thanked God for where He had brought her from and things she had got to do in her life, and it passed down through my mother and us living. We became Christians, and we wanted to join the church, work in the church, and love the Lord, and we look to the Lord for everything. He is our all in all, and down through the years that has not changed. We still worship and serve the Lord, and I'm so grateful. And I think about that often. That that's always been our lifestyle.
What do you think was one of the biggest obstacles that Eula faced in her life?
Okay, like I say, she was a nurse. She was a nurse. She was going to deliver babies and everything else. And she had a lot to do with the school, lived right next door to a school. And she took care of that. She took care of all the people in the neighborhood. She would, go out and stay 2 or 3 days when people had babies and stuff like that. And she was just an all-around lady. And go to church. She's a very, very good church worker.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody loved her. And she was just a nice person. She was a sweet woman. She didn't like to get mad at nobody.
Mm-hmm.
She was just kind of a nice person. But Grandpa, he'd knock you down, if you do something wrong. And he used to put horseshoes on the horse,
Mm-hmm.
To shoe a mule, they called it. And that's what he did. At this thing you turn, anvil,
Mm-hmm.
and heat these horseshoes up, put them on the horse's foot. And he did that for everybody in the neighborhood. Grandma used to can peaches and can all kind of fruit. Had a lot of fruit trees, apples, pears, peaches, plums, strawberries, had all kind of, good stuff to eat.
Okay. Was she a good cook?
She was a good cook.
What was your favorite thing that she cooked? Do you remember?
Chicken dressing.
Chicken dressing?
Yeah. Used to murder these chickens. They
Not murder the chickens.
grab around the neck, sling them around like this, and break, take the head off.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to see her do that. And I said, boy, how in the world can she do that? But that's the way to kill chickens in them days.
Would you eat the chicken? Because Mariana said she wouldn't eat it.
Yeah, love chicken. We had them chicken. It was just a wonderful life down there with her, even though, we'd take turns on staying down there, but I caught most of it. Because Velvet Cat was in school up at Portland. And I was the softest one, I guess, to get along with. I got all the dirty, not the dirty work, but we had fun in Portland, you know, that was a fun place. And then when we have to go down there, they didn't have nobody to play with. But you take care of whatever they tell you to do. But I liked it. I liked going down there. It was a good life.